This is the scene live right now in Washington, early in the morning there. Mr. Trump is yet to comment today, but the world will be watching closely, particularly for any use of the presidential power to issue pardons to criminals. Whatever he does, it will be against the backdrop of perhaps the tightest ever security for an inauguration. Thousands of National Guard personnel will be on duty. Fences topped with barbed wire have been set up around the Capitol building. And the FBI has issued nationwide alerts for any repeat of the violent actions by pro-Trump groups, which resulted in 5 deaths earlier this month. Well, Mr. Trump says he won't attend Mr. Biden's inauguration, and it's clear the two administrations don't see eye to eye on policy either, with Mr. Biden's team saying they would immediately block any attempt by the outgoing president to lift COVID travel bans on visitors from most of Europe and Brazil. Well, we begin our coverage with this report from our correspondent in Washington, Nomia Iqbal.
America's capital city is eerily quiet, and so is its president. Mr. Trump has been largely silent after Twitter permanently banned him. But there is some last-minute business. He announced a COVID-19 travel ban on much of Europe would be lifted. The incoming Biden administration plans to reverse it, though. In a tweet, the incoming press secretary says, in fact, they will strengthen it. One thing they won't be able to stop are Mr. Trump's pardons. Like all outgoing presidents, he plans to use his last bit of power to grant clemency to more than 100 convicted criminals. This is all against the backdrop of a city that's turned into a fortress. Up to 25,000 troops from the National Guard are here, the most since the Civil War era. This nation is still reeling from the riots earlier this month. It's emerged that some of them had connections to law enforcement, and now all the inauguration security is being vetted by the Army and the FBI.
One of the bigger challenges will be identifying people in law enforcement who have sympathies for these groups or act in concert with them. And again, law enforcement has all the authorities they need. The FBI has jurisdiction to investigate civil rights abuses by law enforcement officers. They just need to prioritize that work.
President-elect Biden will fly into the city for his inauguration at Capitol Hill, a trip he originally planned to make by train. President Trump won't be there, the first time that's happened in more than 150 years. He plans to leave for Florida Wednesday morning with the First Lady Melania Trump. She has delivered a goodbye address.
In all circumstances, I ask every American to be an ambassador of Be Best, to focus on what unites us, to raise above what divides us, to always choose love over hatred, peace over violence, and others before yourself.
4 years on, and President Trump will be leaving the White House just as he entered it, with chaos and without convention. He did get his wall, though, just not the one he expected. Nomia Iqbal, BBC News, Washington.